Hi guys, we are going to have a look at recurrence relations, also called linear relationships. And we're going to have a look at the first exercise today, which will link to textbook exercise 15A from the Lecky and Lecky higher textbook. So introduction to sequences. So you've seen sequences before, you've seen them all through school. Here's a sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ... shows the sequence will keep going on forever. Here's another sequence, 28, 22, 19, 17 and a half, so we're dropping down by 6, then 3, then 1.5, then it would be 3/4 after that. So you're probably thinking, well, yep, I know that, so what about the higher maths? So here's the new bit. It's common to use subscript numbers to label the terms. So for example here, the first term, 28, we might call U1, 22 would call U2, 19 would call U3, 17 and a half we'd call U4. Okay, so we've got a new notation there. So we use UN to represent the nth term. So in other words, U4 is the 4th term, U17 would be the 17th term. So let's have a look at these ones. So UN equals N. So U5, so in the case of U5, N is 5. So U5 would be 5, U3 would be 3, the 3rd term is 3. Here we have the formula UN equals 2N, so that's going to give us the even numbers. So U3 would equal 2 3s, which is 6. In other words, the 3rd term would be 6, 2, 4, 6, there it is. So then we have the triangular numbers, which you may recognize. So UN equals a half N, N plus 1. So here U1 would be a half of 1 multiplied by 1 plus 1. So it's a half multiplied by 1 multiplied by 2, which is just 1. U2, the second number in this sequence, would be a half multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1. So a half times 2 times 3, which comes out as 3. And then if we wanted the 10th term in this sequence, we'd do a half multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1, and so on. Notice that if we have a formula for UN, it is possible to work out any term in the sequence. For example, you could easily find U1000 for any of the sequences above without having to list all the previous terms. Well, unfortunately, this isn't always the case with the questions we're going to see it higher. We can't just jump to the 1000th term or the 10th term. But let's have a look at one question. So given that UN plus 1 equals 3 UN plus 7, so what does this mean? This means the next term in the sequence is equal to 3 multiplied by the current term plus 7. And we're given U0. U0 is the initial term. So we're quite often given U0 and asked to work out U1, U2 and U3. So using this formula here, U1 would equal 3U0 plus 7. So to calculate U1, 3 times U0 plus 7, what is U0? U0 is 3. So U1 will be 3 3s plus 7, 9 plus 7, which is 16. So now that we have U1, we can work out U2. So again, using this formula, UN plus 1, the next term, which will be U2, is 3 multiplied by the current term, which is U1, which we know is 16. So U2 will be 3 16s plus 7, which is 55. And just repeating that, U3 will be 3 lots of U2. Again, we know U2 is 55. So U3 is 3 55s plus 7, which is 172. So notice we couldn't jump straight from U0 to U3. So we needed to calculate U1, U2 and U3. So there is a very quick introduction to recurrence relations. Have a go at exercise 15A, questions 1A and 1F. You can do the ones in between if you want, that would be fine. And then have a look at the next video.